Hello, good evening, and welcome to my stream. Uh, we're about to get started in here real quick. I just wanted to go over the schedule again for those who may not have been here last time. Um, I've switched it from Tuesdays and Thursdays to Fridays and Saturdays. The Fridays are the same time, but I'm playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. We just finished Sunflora's side story in Sky, finally, yesterday. But as always, you can find all of my previous streams on my YouTube channel. So we're going to go ahead and hop into the art, but we're going to go over what I did for this particular universe last time, because we're hopping back into Ballistic's universe. I did Ballistic last time because he's very, very, very Blorbo shaped for me. He's got no need for your anger management therapy. He can turn his anger into bombs from whatever he's holding. If he channels his anger into it, it becomes an explosive. He is very fun to just think about. He got wronged by the company that he was working for. So technically, I don't think he's a bad guy. No, I don't. I think Mr. Man here is a little bit misunderstood. But they want him to be misunderstood because the company that he works for is a shady business. And we're going to explore some more facets of that today through the perspective of three other characters from the same universe. Galahad. Yes, that Galahad. The Inhuman Terror. And actual real life name Mayhem. So, let's start by hopping into the Sun Boy, Jason Chin. Jason. Yes. Oh, yes? Yes, Duck, you have something to say? This is old art, too, so, like. What's it? Huh? You got a problem? Oh, I see. I'm guessing you're in love with Miss Mayhem. Yeah, Coop, you best beware. It seems your love has fallen in love. uh. All right. So we're starting with the Sun Boy. This boy right here is Jason Chin. That's his legal name. Although most of the time nowadays he's referred to. See, thank you. I love that. That's so sweet. I'm gonna just be blushy over here. I wish I had a blushy PNG set right now, but I don't. So I'm just. So, alright. This is Jason. And he's technically, I was just going for Asian features at the time because I was trying to learn how to draw Asiatic features. But he was on his school's football team. He's an honor student. He's basically a very good boy. Would you like to know what happened to this poor good boy? One of his classmates. And I mean that quite literally. Jason here had latent genes. Yeah, more like soccer than American football. I mean, he's an American student, but Jason's got problems. His problems are mostly one of his other classmates deciding he is prime make herself look good material. I believe I told a little bit about this story. Jason's got latent metahuman genes, basically. They weren't supposed to come in his generation. In fact, they were probably supposed to come several generations after him. He's a fear manipulator. Uh, and a little bit of a transformy boy. He changes shape based off of what people fear. That's Except he wasn't supposed to have powers. He was not supposed to have powers at all. Or at least his generation was not supposed to have powers. He's a good boy. Very sweet. Honor student, like I said. And he's got fear-based powers. Yes, he transforms like the vehicle. If you're afraid of cars and trucks, he literally turns into a mecha. My boy, Jason is not, and also is, like, too powerful to control. He's very dangerous, and you really shouldn't have messed with him. But he's also been raised by a single mother, and his biggest goal was he was going to be his school's valedictorian until one of his classmates decided that because she could sense his ability, his latent powers, decided to use him as a stepping stone to becoming a celebrity hero. Do you want to know the worst part? Is it worked. She has the ability, for now, to boost people's natural given abilities, including forcibly activating mutant genes. She comes in handy for a lot of big raids and what have you. Yeah. Yeah. He was in algebra. He was going to do his math test when somebody started freaking out. He didn't know what was going on. And then he turned into like an 8-foot tall giant spider monster because he didn't know he had powers. And you know how you're like supposed to treat people the way you want to be treated? The girl who will eventually become a hero known as Princess Punch Up. And yes, she calls herself that unironically. And is the daughter of the same company that has done ballistic wrong. Yeah. Uh he had a horrible. Yes, she's the shady lady. None of these characters are actual villains. They got labeled villains by society. She got him arrested for existing because he's scary. Literally. You can see him here in this particular picture is him finally getting used to his abilities and being able to control them at will. Yes. He does. He has to hack it in, though. He does get his diploma. He does get his his beautiful they just don't know that it's him. He hacks. He gets he gets a lot of help from another villain that I haven't fully designed, so you might not see her in this episode. She goes by the professor. She believes she believes that everybody deserves to have a proper education. He is a very sweet boy who did not deserve any of what happened to him. Okay, Ballistic, whom she's calling Boom Man, is a doctor of literally explosive engineering. He's not qualified to teach high school math. He does not have the qualifications to be anything except this boy's dad figure. And that's the T. As you can see, I still he's got a doctorate. That doesn't mean he's a teacher. So, yeah. We got Jason here. He's a very good boy. And he got screwed over by the system. Yes, he can teach explosions and how not to manage your anger. But that does the not managing your anger actually does come in handy for Jason later when they get their hands, they as in this whole group, get their hands on the superhero team that Princess Punch Up is on, and he gets to I don't know if you've heard like Varian's theme villain song from Rapunzel, but I heard that, and that sort of helped define Jay's character here. Only his friends call him Jay, and that's mostly only the crew because he does not trust people. His mother is a nurse. His mother is a nurse, and she ends up joining the bad guy squad just because her boy did not deserve any of this, and she's gonna help him get his revenge in whatever way he deems fit. Because she's a supportive mother and would have done so anyway. I haven't designed her yet either, so don't ask me too much about. Fun fact, as I designed Galahad, I decided they had the same ethnicity, and then I decided that they were related, and this guy is related to my Galahad, his brother, from a long, long time ago. So he's just like, I have living family members when he finally meets Jason. And then, of course, because his fears were invading armies and what have you, Jason gets to have a little bit of duplication power as a treat. Meanwhile, he's also picked up a daughter on his way because he couldn't just leave her there. Mayhem's story is just as tragic, if not more so. So be prepared for that when I get into her. She's actually been around a lot longer than Jason has. They've sort of been on the same wavelength since the beginning, however, so I mean that makes sense since they're the same-ish age. Yes, this whole thing is found family and destroy the government. So I mean, it is kind of irresponsible therapy. Jason, like I said, has fear manipulation powers. And as much as he wants to, he initially just wants to forgive and forget, right? Because he's a good boy and he's been told that revenge is not something that good people go for, right? That's what all your superhero movies tell you. That's what all of your. No, no. He meets Jerome Ponta, who is the man who breaks him out of prison. More like bye. Ain't no lie, baby. Bye, bye, bye. Except for Mayhem, who is Arrow Ace. Galahad had a crush on Arthur, and possibly Merlin, who ages backwards in this story. But he's not going to date anybody in this time frame because he's like, I'm about 1,000,000 years old. Jerome, Mr. Man here, he's an Italian, and he's bi as hell. uh, Jason's mother, also bi. Everybody's bi until proven otherwise. That's the lore. That's the tea for this universe. Yes, of course it makes him angrier. Why is everybody hot? Can they stop being hot for 10 minutes and eat some spaghetti? No, it's just. No, that's not spaghetti. Yes. Thank you. This is the best. This is what I've always wanted here. uh, but yes, we're going back here. Jason gets imprisoned after the incident at his school. The one that he didn't cause. And they're afraid of him. They're so afraid of him that he gets high security prison at like 16 years old. Dude has not committed a single crime in his life. It's the worst for this boy. The thing is, they have to find somebody with a very specific phobia in order to trap him because, again, he doesn't know how to use his powers. They're not giving him any time to figure out his powers because his powers are freaky and the public does not like them, so he's not marketable as a superhero. So they can't just like decide he's going to be rehabilitated and turned into a superhero because you don't want a giant spider coming to save you or but they would though. Especially in this universe where I'm pretty sure they're actually controlled by the company that I keep telling you guys about. That I'm like, no, it's fine. It's fine. We'll get there. It's fine. I actually had a name for it at one point, and then I lost it in my head, and I'll find it again eventually, or find a better name for it, but, like, yeah, they find a guy whose phobia is specifically eyes, and they turn this poor dude into an eyeball for, like, 3 years. Where it's like a year that he's trapped as just an eyeball that can talk. He's still alive, still functioning, he's still feeling things. And then Ballistic breaks into the prison. This is a high security prison. Jason doesn't know that. Ballistic broke into it because this is where they were keeping files on his old project, and he wants to know what was going on with the basically new form of TNT nitroglycerin or whatever other thing he was working on. And he meets this eyeball that talks like a kid, and he goes, "Excuse me. That's not allowed. That's not allowed. You laugh, but I have it." This is how they first meet. This was literally the first, like, drawing that I had for Ballistic. Nitroglycerin. Yes, my favorite movie. Yeah. He just takes like 3 looks at that and goes, "That is a child. I can't legally leave him here like that. No, I legally won't do that. That's not allowed. I refuse to be a part of this system. And proceeds to break him out, knock out the guy who's having the intense phobia of eyes so that Jason can return to at least somewhat normal shape. But then, because Jason can't control his powers, guess what? Ballistic's afraid of getting caught. So he turns into a guard. Oh no, how do we break out of a prison? Oh, well, you're a guard. Does your key card work? His key card does work, actually. You know what else works? The fact that none of the other guards suspect that he's not a guard. No, I'm not kidding. This is how they escape. I decided that a long time ago that this is how they would escape. His prison is only as much as a prison. They just assume that this dude is a guard. He looks like a guard. He talks like a teenager, but whatever. I mean, sometimes we all need to do that. And he takes this dude and they escape. Of course, they can't actually go back to the world, either of them, immediately. So they go sneak to Jason's mom's house because Jason's like, I'm pretty sure if given the choice, my mom would pick me over the US government. Oh wait, did I say US? I didn't. But yeah. And she immediately goes, oh yeah, this is my kid, ride or die. Hey, thank you for getting him out of there. I'm gonna hide you in the secret room under my house. I'm not supposed to have a basement. I have a basement. Yeah, that is most moms, but still. If your mom's not like that, get a better mom. You're allowed to find your own family. And that's from me. But yeah, her late husband, who was probably assassinated, was looking into this gosh dang place. This terrible, terrible company that was slowly taking over the world. Or at least that's what he was positing. Guess what? Nobody believed him, and then he just disappeared one day. His family kind of knows what happened, but his mom didn't really tell him because A, she didn't want him following in Dad's footsteps too closely, and B, because she's gonna investigate it. She's actually pretty cool. Again, she's a nurse, so mom's out here being the main reason why they get their information that they get, because she's good. She's good at what she does, and she's also the descendant of Galahad, not his dad, but her. She's of the yes. There we go. A nice sort of jersey looking shirt. Mom powers, exactly. uh so we will be actually adding more to this because welcome aboard, Voids. We're talking supervillains that aren't really supervillains, and totally not the United States. It's not America or anything. But yes. So, actually, I think Void, this is going to be the favorite of the people that I draw today for you. He's a teenager! You want an old man here? You can have an old man. Give me a second. Old man! Yeah, I know, but I have not seen an Asian teenager with a mustache. Or at least when I was in high school, I did not see that. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying that I haven't. And I may, but like, dude's a shapeshifter, and I decide when he gets what he gets. So, uh, right, like I was saying. Yes. So, Mr. Man here, fear transformation. Void, I think he's going to be your favorite, specifically because that's his energy. Fear transformation, big void's energy right there. But yes, right. So, yeah, basically he starts joining Jerome on his I'm going to go just randomly blow up government or business building. Business being specifically this one business that's controlling everything in this particular universe. Uh and well, they get pretty good at hiding their identities with terrible costumes and fear transformation, but you can only really take that so far, and then you may accidentally do the wrong thing. They do the wrong thing, in case you were wondering. They try and steal from somebody else, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Um, because that covers the Arthurian lore for this as well. Because yes, Galahad, as I was telling Coop in the Discord, he's my Thor character, and he's got some pretty out there lore to go with it because I love him and he deserves it. So we're just doing a jersey because my boy was a sport boy and he doesn't really have a villain costume, unlike Ballistic, who decided I'm just gonna turn myself into a bomb because I can become a bomb if I want to. Anger management, who's she? That would ruin my powers. I'm going to become a bomb. So now we've got a shirt, which is nice. We've got a boy, which is also nice. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this layer and duplicate this layer. We're going to fuse one of these sets together so that it can come up here. And we're going to turn them off. And we're going to go back to this because let's see. I think it's time to go a little bit more scary. Mr. Man here eventually does get his like punk rock eyeliner. In case you're wondering, buy until proven otherwise. We're going to get a little bit more monstery here. Starts listening to goth Italian music because his mentor is an Italian. I don't want to. It's so bad. Let's get spiky. Let's get spooky. Do y'all know what people are afraid of? Everybody's always afraid of adding eyes. And for me specifically, all of his duplicate eyes, you can tell when his eyes are real or not based off of whether or not they got black sclera or not. We're going full monster mode. People might be into that, but you know what? That doesn't bother me or him. The boy gets to be as monster as he wants. And if that monster attracts, you know, the people attracted to that, I don't think he'll mind. Let's see. Basically, I ended up giving him some sort of like some of the more common phobias usually as his motifs. Like, dude can pick up a spider or bug fear just about anywhere. You pick up the multi eyed. Ah, nice! Welcome, welcome. Thanks for following. We got the Demon King here. Because I want to, and it's more fun that way. Uh, Look, no, I haven't. Not because I haven't wanted to, but because I know myself and I can't. And by I can't, I mean literally. Uh, my fear is so strong that if I listen to a scary thing for more than a little bit, I freak out and cannot handle it for any more time. But yes, I understand the vibes and the mood from it, and yes, you're very right. This is uh definitely dancing in that dark zone. Yeah, I like that shape. That shape good. We'll do another one here for the same reason. And here's where I turn off the assist because he just can't get these horns to be even for his life. He knows that he wanted them to be at one point, but he likes them better uneven. Gives him the asymmetry, which is good. Um, I'll turn this back on just for a little bit because, like I said, this is sort of his default monster mode. Oh yeah, I do love the fan art. Actually, I have a fanfic that's a crossover between that and the other thing, and I can read it just fine because I can make it less scary, and it's a Minecraft crossover. So I just picture it as Blockmen, and it's not scary anymore. But yeah, the sweetest boy in the whole world gets to be a scary monster when he wants to be. Yes, that is literally what you should do. You should make it very bright in the scary zone and then put on like Three Stooges or slapstick comedy background music. Alright, so and we got the eyes, so we gotta turn the assist back on here. And we got to get into my coloring tool so that we can get these bad boys colored in. And I still love him dearly, even with his like super fun vibes. He's still just very dorky. He is the son of conspiracy theorists that are correct. They're completely and 100% accurate. Um, they also don't get the inherent like monstrousness of him. He becomes what you fear the most, and he does struggle at times with like the people who have abandonment issues as their main phobia or what have you. But he makes up for that in villain persona, which is, you know, you'd be surprised. He's scary. He can be very scary. Mainly because he knows what it's like to be scared, to have everything taken away from you, including your future. Dude can get like dark. He gets to be a little dark as a treat. So, yeah. He's one of my more fun characters for me to just straight up draw at any given point in time because he gets all of the aesthetic danger with none of the actual danger cuz I know that like the minute after he's done being scary, he's like, "Did I do a good job?" to all of his friends and they're just like, "Yep, you sure did. You did a great job. You're the best at being scary." And he's hooray! Because he's still just a major dork. But that's okay because his mother raised him that way. So, this is more or less his villain costume. By the way, no, we're gonna find a teeth color. Yeah. What's fun is you know the lyre bird, which can make basically any known noise by humans. That's sort of what he does. But with phobias and instead of just the noises, he can make really some god awful noises. But yeah. He got called a demon like several times by scared old Catholic people. And that's how he was able to get like demon horns, and he can fly, but it's really tiring and then he has to eat like 4 pounds of hamburgers. My favorite aspect of him is the I'll do the squiggles here in a second. And I do call them the squiggles. But let's see, we got a nice dark brown for spider limbs. But yes. Uh Speedsters equal lots of food. Transform people who have shape shifting abilities should also have that hungry restriction. But they also can't, like, if you're afraid of snakes, dude can unhinge his jaw. That's some of the more fun aspects of like playing around with his character is he's literally every phobia you can think of. Are you afraid of water? Guess what? He can turn into more water than he is made of. His mom doesn't like McDonald's. They're not good. They don't have a lot of options for people who are like not able to eat meat and stuff. They mostly she's she's actually the one who stocks up on a lot of stuff for them. Uh to the point where it's like, I don't know, do we need all of the yes, you need all of these foods. All of them. I'm making sure you guys are getting proper nutrition. She becomes the team mom. It doesn't matter how old you are. You're you're going to be an example for her kid, your family through ancient bloodline. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Make sure you're eating your vegetables. No, you don't get dessert unless you eat all of your vegetables. You have to eat all of your vegetables. And they listen to her. She's she's scary. Let's see. All right, I'm not getting a big enough radius on that. This is my boy's major vibes right here. Most of his shapes are solid. He himself is solid, right? But he's got this quality to him that makes it look like everything isn't real, which actually heightens the fear factor for a lot of people because it's like, oh god, 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 right? So my favorite thing to do to represent that is I call them like the swirlies. They're like little smoke tendrils that sort of seem to just sort of exist around him at almost any given point. Nobody's certain if they grab things or if he can actually like feel through them or what. They just know it's scary, they don't like it, and they would rather he stop doing that. Maybe, please. And he's like, maybe you should have thought of that before, wrongfully imprisoning me for purposefully trying to scare people. Dude, I wasn't even. I was scared. You guys arrested a scared kid. So, there he is, Inhumi. That's literally what they called him to get the public not on his side. They called him the Inhuman Terror. In case you didn't think these people were as bad as they could be. Yes. I love that because Coop, I'm over here going, oh, does that mean they're a very fun loving and gentle character? Or at least they look like it, and they have terrible, awful, no good vibes in reality? Alright. So, I love how this looks because that's almost exactly. That's almost exactly the mood for my boyo here. Let's group these up so that we can just like boop. And then we can delete that. We got two other characters here. And I think we should go by age group now. Which of course means we're gonna get into a little bit of mayhem. So this right here is my girl. My girl Mayhem. She's sort of a ray of sunshine, I suppose. Um let's get into some of the lore for this world first, I think, before I start saying that. Mayhem came about because I wanted a redheaded character. Her legal name is Mayhem. That is what her mother actually named her for a number of reasons, and we'll be getting into that. Uh, Please note that we don't really talk about her mother much after this. We we only really talk about her adopted dad and her real dad, who knew each other in the past. Knew each other in the past because her adopted dad is Galahad. But yes, this is Mayhem. Mostly. It is usually May for short. I'm over here going, that is literally probably word for word what Jason says to her when they first meet, and she just blinks at him. Because Mayhem doesn't know what the outside world is like because she's been trapped in the basement for most of her life. Because her mother locked her down there when what she was trying to use Mayhem for did not work. What she was trying to use Mayhem for was to keep her father around, Mayhem's father, actual biological father, who would have stayed around 100%, except he's cursed by the Fae to forever wander the world. So, yeah, not a good home life for Madame Mayhem here. Um, she's tragic. Like I said, all my younger characters have some serious issues, and Mayhem is not the exception to this rule. Mayhem, as you can probably tell from this very vague, I'm gonna actually explain the dragon. The dragon right here, her name is Wend. Her name is Wend, that dragon, and Wend is actually her father's tattoo. Her father, Galahad's tattoo. Her father, Galahad, has dragon fire abilities, so what you're seeing in here is actually fairy fire. And we'll get into that in a minute. But Mayhem, yeah, did not grow up in a good place. Her mother despised her because she couldn't make her father stay with her, locked her in a basement, basically told the town that she did not exist. She did not get to go to school as a child. She did not learn anything. It's not genetic. You know that Wend is sentient. And we'll get into that in a minute. But yes, she's basically, her biological father has been alive for so long that he does not count as a human anymore. He counts more as a fae. He was human when he was cursed initially, but he's not human anymore. So, by logic, Mayhem is not human. Or at least she's half human. Though her father does not necessarily identify as fae because, hey, they cursed me to wander the world forever and also made it so that I couldn't really spend time with my daughter growing up, which he would have. He would have made a great dad. Her biological father was actually a really good person. Her biological mother is not. But don't worry, we fixed that. We fixed that with arson. I'm not joking there either. Uh, but yes, girl is lucky? Question mark. I feel bad as her creator, but at the same time, necessary character development and growth. Uh, she's lucky her powers are to control her bones. Um, all of her bones. She can create new bones as needed. but she's lucky that that was the ability that she was born with. That is her magic. That is what she does. Because her mother was not a good person. She doesn't exist in the eyes of anybody around her, and her mother despised her for not being able to keep her father around. So Mayhem often ended up with mm, broke dead bones. She doesn't know that that's wrong. She learned that it's wrong through her found family, whom she would kill to protect. Yes, yes, it's very. She's tragic, and I didn't mean to make her so tragic at first, but then I just couldn't stop. She went from normal amounts of tragic to all amounts of tragic very quickly. Um, but I do my best, and she gets a new dad, so who loves her immediately and commits arson to save her. So you know how fairy children or children were all often called fairy children if they were autistic in the ye olden days? I went full on with that. All fairies are autistic in this universe, or on the spectrum in some variety or another, and Mayhem is no different. Her and all other fey creatures have some form of. So girls, fun. I enjoy that immensely. Mayhem does get to meet her dad. Uh, the night that Galahad also meets up with her dad, going, "Hey, I know you. I recognize that song. Yeah, hey, dude, nice to see you again. Could you maybe save my daughter from my terrible ex-girlfriend who I was thinking about marrying at one point, and now I'm like, thank God I have to keep moving or I die. Fey curse saved my life. Thanks, dodged a bullet there." She's in that building, and Galahad sees what's going on, and went, mmm, 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 and completely burns down her house. Because of this, she's like literally the only one who's not connected to the whole company conspiracy. But I guarantee you, if they had known she existed, they would have basically what the Hero Commission in My Hero Academia was doing this, and it was you can sell your kid, I believe, to the Hero Commission, and they'll train them to become a hero. Yeah, Galahad went, "Oh no, my daughter now," and proceeds to, steal her and keep her alive. Perfect Fey traditions right here, keeping in line with her heritage. Stealing children, saving families, creating families. Um, but yes, she has the power to create and manipulate her bones. As such, she grew these toughened spots. These are actually like parts of her bones that are poking through her body. And as you can tell, she likes to make claws and pointy bits and armor out of them. A lot. It's fun. So, not only is she Fae and a redhead, she controls her own bones, and she hears about what happens to she heard about what happened to Jason and was immediately like, "Oh, so when are we going to go after this woman?" When are we going to kill her or get revenge? When are we fixing that situation? And everybody went mayhem. And she went, we are fixing the situation. And they went, yes, mayhem. I know. We are going to fix the situation, but not right now. She went, okay, but tell me when we're doing it because I have to be a part of it. I have to be a part of it. You can't make me sit out. And that's how Jason knew that she cared. Basically. Moral of the story is she doesn't necessarily understand affection very much, but she does her due diligence and she does learn. And I love Jason's mom so much because she took one look at this girl and went, well, my daughter now. And Galahad went, oh, please, thank you. I don't know how to do the womanly stuff like painting and and tending to wounds. And she went, that's not all women do. And he goes, I know, but that's all I could think of off the top of my head. I'm so sorry. I fixed him. Wait till I'm finished talking. But yes. Basically, he's like so glad he doesn't have to give the talk. Not that Mayhem would actually, care about that because she's arrow ace to the max. Girl's not interested in anything that you could offer physicality wise. She's here to get revenge for her friends and possibly overthrow the government. She'll decide on the way. Maybe both. That sounds like a good choice. Maybe we could do both. It's Saturday after all. The post isn't running. But yes. And her dad can come to the same location again. He does so a lot, but he can't stay for very long. At most, he can stay for like a year, but only if something like really big changes wise is going on in the environment of the place that he's in. So he does his best for his daughter. That's pasty white. Let's see if I can find us a nice. But he can't necessarily stay in her life the whole time, which is why, sort of, he entrusted her to Galahad in the first place. Because he knew the dude could stick around. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. And also because that's my friend. I know how to deal with this. I can get my friend to help with my daughter problem, and then all will be well. That's not a human skin tone. There we go. That's much right. So yes, Galahad, good at sword fighting, tries his best at dadarizing. Actually gets a lot of tips from Ballistic because Ballistic did not mean to, but got adopted by Jason as his dad figure because Jason was young when his bio father passed away, was assassinated. Whatever you want to say about it, because most of those things are true. So they're basically the same age, and he taught her how to play Mario Kart and regrets it immediately. She's so good at Mario Kart. She doesn't know what she's doing, but she wins every race. And that's the truth. She's specifically playing as Donkey Kong because she thinks it's funny that it's an ape wearing a tie. And that's the only reason she plays Donkey Kong. Yes, basically, she did that exactly. But she also fairly stands out because she's got very, very green eyes. Because like she is half fae. That is part of her whole deal. And also because I wanted to do fun like neon orange hair. I do have more art of her, mostly of her looking kind of like I don't really know what's going on. So I'll go over some more fun stuff here. Uh, she does have the ability to control and manipulate all of her bones at will. Because of this, she adores dairy products, cheese, uh, anything that has high calcium. You cannot leave her alone with a bottle of calcium vitamins. She will eat the whole thing like candy. Uh, which, isn't very good for your health, but they didn't realize that at first. And again, Jason's mother is a nurse for situations exactly like this because the girl ate an entire bottle of calcium vitamins on her own. Yeah, basically. She doesn't know about the nutrition table. She doesn't know about anything. She didn't even get to go to kindergarten, you guys. Uh so not only does she have trouble making friends and goes nonverbal at times, she's also like, cool, you're not gonna eat your milk? I'll eat your milk. She doesn't know that milk goes bad. It's a Fey trait. She tried cutting her hair once, but it didn't work. She doesn't know what a hair clip is and has never once gone to a barber. I'm pretty sure Galahad might be able to cut her hair with a magic sword. His magic sword. His actually magic sword. He got from Merlin before he went to sleep for a really long time. But she'd have to ask him about it, and he'd have to think about it for a long time before he figured it out. But yes, she's a very sweet girl, and I've drawn her several times in the past. This is not her first iteration, nor will it likely be her last. We're just getting closer to the end of figuring out Mayhem. So, let's add some more to this, I think. Since that's usually the case with redheads, is there's some color variation. even within. And since this is one of her main defining features, I gotta make sure I do it right. Yeah. Once she gets more used to society and stuff, she actually really enjoys messing with people. So, prankster fairy genes activated. Alright, let's see. Like I said, I have more older designs for her. And initially, she just she was just somebody who can control her bones. Then she sort of morphed into a nerd who doesn't really understand what's going on, and then she got her tragic backstory. Around the same time, Jason Chin came into the picture. So it was more. I made a friend for her. So she got a friend vibes. Galahad only knows how to buy things from the Renaissance Festival. So most of their clothes came from that. He did his best. But that was the only place that he felt comfortable buying things from because that's where he understood. He didn't understand all the fashion trends. He's like, I don't think y'all really understand, but you got the spirit, so I'm just gonna ignore it. Or do my best to ignore it. But yeah. Most of their clothes before they join up with the rest of the squad are bought from the Renaissance fairs. Which I think is fitting and funny. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's better. So, we'll be getting into Galahad next. So I have to give you guys a fresher on the Arthurian lore for this particular universe that I got here. In this universe, Arthur was Fae. So just jot that down. Second thing is Arthur didn't die because he's Fae. He went to Avalon to get some R&R after his near-death battle with Mordred, but he also knew that he was going to go to sleep for a while, and he knew that there were a couple of problems with that. He's never been a good person to wake up. Ever. Um, so, while he may be the once and future king, he's not a good person to wake up from naps and stuff. He would always immediately attack the first person he saw unless they were in a crisis, i.e., like being attacked by bandits or something. Which led him to believe if he went to sleep for a long time, he might go on a rampage that lasted a long time. His assessment was basically spot on. this Arthur is not waking up when the world is in crisis. He's not supposed to like come back when Britain needs him most. Mordred is theoretically, in most of the Arthurian lore, the wielder of the opposite blade to Excalibur in some lore. In other lore, it's basically he's the one that kills Arthur in most Arthurian legends. Yeah. In some version, he's his son. In other versions, not. In this version, it's not. 100% not. Most fair, arrow ace. I make the rules and that's what I say. So I'm just sort of doing what she usually does with her bone spurs. Here. So, yes. Arthur is basically asleep on Avalon for a while. And he knows he's going to be a right pain to wake up in the morning. He doesn't really want anybody to go through that, but at the same time, he knows somebody's going to have to because he has to wake up because you can't just sleep forever. That would be bad. So instead, what he decides to do is appoint a knight to guard over him, except he's Fey, right? So he can't just necessarily expect a human to live hundreds of years, the same as any Fey could. So they go through a whole ordeal of trying to figure out A, who's the best fit to watch over you while you sleep, watch over your resting place, because we're not going to put you in the same place. That would be silly, and asking for somebody who wants to tarnish your legacy and your reputation to just go ahead and wake you up. Basically, Arthur, if he wakes up early, is going to become the calamity that destroys the earth. But if Arthur is woken up when a calamity is happening, Arthur will not destroy the earth. After going through all of his knights, they eventually settle on Galahad being the best choice to be this person who watches over Arthur's resting place. I wanted to make Arthur a little bit more monstrous, hence why he's a Fae, and also hence why if you wake him up, he might destroy the world. Galahad went through a whole process, including something that Arthur had outlawed in his time was dragon hunting, because dragons are a vital part of the ecosystem. You can't just go around killing them. That would destroy a lot of the balance of magical creatures. You can't just do that. Guess who didn't listen to him? So we ended up with having one last dragon left, but we needed to keep her alive somehow. Because again, balance of magical creatures and all that. That's where you get Wend. Wend volunteered to become a sort of magical tattoo that gives Galahad a lengthened lifespan and among other things, which we'll get to in a minute. But here we go. The lovely lady, she, Mayhem, and her bone powers. Uh, Wend is this right here. She's this. Oh, this dragon right here. Uh, she basically got turned into. She, in order to balance things out, willingly went through a process that turned her into a tattoo, which was then inscribed on Galahad's back. She has freedom to move around his whole body, and in people he's close to, can jump skin to skin. He's close enough to Mayhem that she can jump onto Mayhem when he's incapacitated at times. With the unexpected side effect being her fairy, the fire that is dragon turns into fairy fire, which can then be used to cause illusions while also causing property damage. So, this is what I have for Galahad at the moment. I never designed his face. All I know is that we could actually follow along for Jason's face because he's related to him, but that he is a knight as well. So, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to do basic shapes out. And I want to give him this nice square jaw because he and his brother came from a faraway land to join Avalon and Camelot and the King's Court because it was a place where everyone was treated fairly, no matter where they came from, and that's what interested the brothers. So Galahad eventually became a knight of the round. He took the name Galahad. He chose the name Galahad for himself and became a well-renowned knight with it. Well enough that when he was found by an archaeological company that really shouldn't have been looking for these relics of times gone past, guess what? Funded by that same company again. They got their fingers in every pie, controlling the world from the shadows. Nobody liked that. But there's where the cutoff should be. But yes, Galahad made a name for himself as a knight and joined the Round Table, basically. The moral of the story is you can too. You just have to put your mind to it and travel. But let's see if I can expose more storyman for him. He's alright, we got 2 on this side, so I gotta make marks. shallower on the inside, further down. Scar. Scar, scar. Alright, I didn't turn off the mirroring. Give me a second. Scar, scar. 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 Oh, no. It's scar. Scar. Scar, scar. Yeah, the dude's got chunks taken out of him. Folks and friendos. But yes, let me see if I can explain. He joined the round table, he joined the knights, and then he gets told that he's going to have the honor that all knights they have a tournament, and a lot of it does get explained with the knights in the Holy Grail mythos. But with Galahad specifically, I chose one of the more mild mannered knights. There's Gawain you could also pick from there, but Gawain has his own story, and Gawain and the Green Knight, and I think he's like a Christian stand-in. But basically, this man is well trained in combat. He can and will destroy you on the battlefield. And he was picked because of his loyalty to Arthur. And yes. And his kindness, basically. He's not gonna like tell people that Arthur is dangerous and going to destroy the world if you wake him up. He's gonna try and find a way around telling you that because you're not supposed to say that. That doesn't sound polite. You gotta. Arthur, come on, man. Is there any way we could put this better? Basically, PR guy. Before PR guys existed. He's he's fun to play with in my head because he's again my Thor character. He's got zero idea of what's going on in any given moment and just wants to help out. And why are you picking on his family? His family doesn't deserve this. So now I get to turn off the assist again so that I can. Yep. So yeah, like I said, he's Knight of the Table, Galahad. He gets locked in a similar sleep to Arthur's. But in a different location. So the company that Ballistic worked for that was trying to discover a new way to explode things. And basically a mining company. They're trying to find Arthur. And he goes, when they wake him up, that's not a good idea. He doesn't tell them why. Mainly because he gets the feeling that these people ain't trustworthy. I don't like them. I don't trust them. I'm not going to give them any more information than just what they need here. They actively try to manipulate him into telling him them where Arthur is, and so he runs away, basically, to prevent them from finding Arthur, to prevent a lot of things, like the end of the world. He does not want the end of the world. He lives on the world. But on top of this, he's got a magical dragon tattoo, which is part of the reason why he knows these people aren't cool, why they ain't kosher, why they don't vibe, is because Wend doesn't like them. And Wend likes a lot of people. Wend knows that humans were the cause of a lot of her species getting hunted, but honestly, she thought that that was a kind of fun game that humans were doing, and they were playing with the dragon kind. And a lot of the dragons had the same opinion, because a lot of dragon games are actually a lot deadlier than you'd think. But yes, hence why she's appreciative of Galahad keeping her species from dying out incidentally. Alright, we'll have to draw her in here in a second, but he eventually gets known as the Black Knight as his villain persona, which he goes, A, that's not true. B, why are you guys calling me that? And C, okay, I guess I'll lean into the villainous aspect. Because I don't want y'all waking up Arthur unless it's a really calamity. Because then he will do stuff that is not cool. Stuff that we do not want him to do. So, Wend is very shape. She's basically only shape language. So, I try when I start drawing her to do her eye, because that helps me find the front part. She can change location on him. At first it felt weird for the both of them, right? She's a she's a dragon changing positions and at the same time not going anywhere. But eventually they learned how to not freak each other out when they do placement shifts. And she tends to hang around where she can hear things. Because she's nosy and she wants to know what's going on. Getting close to time for me to start wrapping up. But I want to finish the shape. The fun thing with Wend is her shapes can overlap. You'll see like parts of her wings overlap with other parts of her wings, but she can't actually cover his face at all. She's 100% locked in to the torso and lower, like from the neck down. We'll grab a skin tone for this. I'll just dip it in a little bit further. Yeah, I like that one. And she is all black as a tattoo. Even though I believe when she was alive in my head, she was crimson or scarlet. With Galahad, our species is safe. And also, he's just a good person in general. So, turn off drawing assist. With her, he gets the power to control fire, which is very fun and exciting for him. You know, as far as powers go. It's actually dragon fire, so depending on how much lore I want to go into, it could be more like alchemist's fire or Greek fire, which doesn't necessarily go out when you put water on it and could perhaps burn on water. Let's. Guess I'll try and find a good place to wrap this up. I do want to. Maybe just getting the base colors down. I don't know. But Wend actually has the ability to speak to Galahad in his head. They're basically a duo. They're friends. They weren't at first, but they are now. She kind of thought he was a wimp. And he's very much like doting uncle. Yeah. Bonus pal gains daughter. Basically, for his brain's standpoint, it's wake up, get talked to by weird people, friends who lives in my skin goes, yeah, I don't like them and I don't trust them. He goes, neither do I. Let's get out of here after we learn some more about what the heck has been going on. Like, did you know they learned how to make some pretty dangerous stuff, but they don't know how to make Greek fire anymore? Lame. Leaves, obtains daughter, finds a group of villains to hide and harbor them and help them achieve safe passage, maybe somewhere safe. Meets them, realizes that, hey, this is my brother's family. I didn't know that my brother had a family. I'm gonna cry. Oh no, I have family. living family actively dotes on literally every single member of his family every chance he gets. Uh Decides not to leave, keeps him and his adopted daughter there for a while. They all eventually take on all the members that have ever caused any member of their family pain. And I haven't reached a conclusion for them necessarily, but yeah, gigantic found family trope. It's a lot of fun, in my opinion, just to do that. You get a found family, you get a found family, and you get a found family, and hey, what's that over there? That's right, it's a found family! Out of all of the members, he's also the best with kids. Kids know that this dude will not hurt them. That he could never. How dare you assume that he would ever hurt a child? They're the future. He also talks in a weird British accent, but since Britannia was closer, the American accent is closer to the original British accent. Uh, he sounds pretty normal. He had to go through an extensive language class just so that he got caught up with all of what was slang terms and what was going on vocabulary wise, because he needs to know these things, which amuses me greatly because it's like, yeah, a found family can be two dads, a dragon, all of their kids, which include mostly traumatized children. Yeah, I'm getting warnings from my pen that I need to stop, but I can't. I gotta get these base colors down. Let me just finish doing these colors. If I have to, I'll use my finger, but don't make me. So yeah. These are my bad guys in a story about superheroes. Aren't they so terrible and irredeemably evil? Don't you just want to like put them in jail for forever? Yeah, it's totally what they deserve. Alright, I'm gonna end it here with Galahad. He's got his base colors down. I may keep this so that we get more stuff to do next week, or I may finish it and upload all three of these guys together with their fourth member, the other dad man. Uh, okay. Yeah, I need to go back a couple of times. Doop, 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 doop. There, now they all moved as a group, which is good. So, thank you for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. you joining me in my little corner of the universe. I hope you have an excellent afternoon or whatever you're feeling. If you want to support me, I have a Ko-fi in my description. Feel free to donate. That's to help me get a better computer so that I can play Minecraft for the first time ever. Get to see my actual reactions. I'll probably play with my friend Coop too. Coop in my descriptions. My art is posted on Tumblr, DeviantArt, and I usually try and put it in my Ko-fi page as well. If you've missed a stream, I have all of the streams up on my archive channel on YouTube, including this one by the end. So thank you for having me. Thank you for joining me. I hope you had fun with my art. And also, if you like me and you want to see more, follow me. If we get to 10 followers, I know Voids said they would probably gift subscriptions. So have a good evening. You all are little stars in my space cadet crew. Bye bye.